beauties, welcome back to my channel. So let me just start off by saying, girl, it's been a minute. I haven't posted a video on this channel and I know it's been a while, but I want to say thank you to you 300 and something. I don't know the exact number, I'm sorry y'all, but 300 plus subscribers who stuck around. That means a lot to me, especially since I don't post at all. However, girl, let me just tell you, 2019 is gonna be the year, okay? Anyways, in today's video, I decided to film how I fill in my eyebrows. I get that question asked a lot, and I also asked on Instagram what you guys wanted to see, if you wanted to see a makeup look or if you wanted to see how I fill in my brows. And a lot of you, it was like 50-50, I'm not even gonna lie, like 50 was like, yeah, do a makeup tutorial, and then the other half was like, please do your brows. So I figured I'd do both. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I fill in my eyebrows, and then the next video that's going to be posted after this will be this makeup look that I'm wearing. So yeah, if you would like to hang out with me for a little while and figure out how to fill in your brows at home by watching me do mine, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, let's get into these brows. So the first thing I'm doing is just combing through my eyebrows. I'm actually using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade medium brown. So let's just comb my hairs up just so that way I can kind of see where I want to start my brow and make sure that everything is placed where I want it to be. So the first thing that I like to do is underline my eyebrow. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it works. Some people like to do this with concealer, but I like to do it with my brow pencil. And as you guys can see, I don't start right from the beginning of my eyebrow. I kind of start a little further back just because I want to do the end where I like to be more defined, and then I like to go in and do the front of my eyebrow. All I'm doing here is just creating the shape that I want. So as you can see, my eyebrows aren't that bad, but I like a little more definition and I like them to be a little thicker. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And then they stop pretty short and I like my tail longer, so I just made my tail a little longer. Now here what I'm doing is I'm actually starting to fill in the brow. So what I like to do is small strokes, but in the way that the hair is growing, if that makes sense. So like the end of my brow, I like to go towards the side, and then you'll see later on in the front of my eyebrow, I'll do strokes going straight up because that's the way the hair is naturally growing. Now I'm going to start doing the front of my eyebrow. Here I'm using very, very light pressure, just because I want that to be very light up there, if that makes sense. Like I like to have that faded look where it goes from very light to more defined towards the end. And then I'm just going to continue feathering in the eyebrows. Now I'm going to start with the top of my brows. So just like the bottom, I'm not going to go straight to the front. I'm going to start right like a little bit behind the front of the brow and start to just make my arch. So here's really where you can play with the brow and see if you want it more arched, if you want it more rounded at the top. I kind of like mine a little more rounded. I don't like to have it at a point. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm just going to connect that with the tail at the end that we made at the bottom of the eyebrow. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in. And again, if you make any mistakes, it doesn't need to be perfect because that's what the concealer is going to do later on. It'll kind of clean up any mistakes we made while we were filling in the eyebrow. Okay, so now we're going to start moving on to the front of the eyebrow. So like I said before, instead of going sideways, I'm actually going to start to take my pencil and kind of go upwards. As you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm using very, very light pressure. Like I cannot express that enough. That's what's going to give you the most natural look in the front of your eyebrow. And again, I'm going to just take my spoolie and comb through the brows, and this is one eyebrow done and one eyebrow not done, and there's a huge difference, girl. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet and let you guys see me do the other brow. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that, and we'll be right back with the next step. Okay, so moving on to the next step. Here, of course, I didn't show anything because I completely forgot, but everything's going to be listed below. But I'm taking, this is an Anastasia brush. This is her number 12 brush, and I'm taking her brow powder duo in the shade Caramel. So the pencil was in medium brown. Now I'm using the powder duo in Caramel. I always set my eyebrows with powder after I do my pencil because I feel like it helps to fill in any gaps that the pencil didn't fill. So of course I use most of the product towards the end of the eyebrow, that's why I started there, and then here in the front I just use whatever's left on the brush to just fill in the front of the brow. Again, just because I like that faded effect. Now here I'm going into concealer. So I do my concealer kind of different. I apply it under the brow, but not to carve it out yet. So I apply it a little further under the brow and then I blend it up, if that makes sense. Because if you just put the concealer under the brow straight where you want it, it's easy to make a mistake and completely conceal your eyebrow and all the work you just did. So I like to start it lower and then I blend it up. That way I know that there's not too much product on my brush. And I just wanted to mention with the concealing of the eyebrows, this is perfect to manipulate your brow shape and really have the shape that you want. And it's also great for my girls out there who want to skip that extra week of tweezing or waxing. Girl, concealer got you. Here I'm doing the top of my brow, so I do the same thing, and just like with the brow products, I don't go all the way to the front of the brow first. I kind of start a little back, and then I just create my arch. And just watching this, you could definitely see the difference that the concealer makes. It gives you like a nice, clean, crisp eyebrow. And of course I'm blending it because, girl, we don't want to be able to tell where your concealer started and where it ended. So I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. here I'm just showing you guys that I'm just like blending the concealer that gets stuck in between the brows, because I don't like that harsh line, because I find when I do my foundation and everything I can see that line still, so I like to blend it while it's still wet. And then I'm just taking my pencil again and just going over the brow, perfecting everything, making sure that my tail looks good, making sure that I like the way it looks. This is just me being extra, to be honest. Then I'm taking that same concealer, which I probably didn't even mention. So the concealer I'm using here is actually the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. So I'm taking that same concealer and I'm just going over my eyelids. This is going to help cancel out any redness, any discoloration in the eyes, and it's going to prep for your eyeshadow. Now I'm just taking, this is actually my setting powder that I use for my face. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but again, everything will be down below in the description box. But I just take a fluffy brush and the powder that I use to set my foundation, and I just set that concealer. That way it's not wet when you go and apply your eyeshadow. Sometimes I even go outside just like this and just put on some lashes, and I swear all the time that I do this, people ask me what eyeshadow I'm wearing, and I'm just like, girl, I'm not wearing any. I'm just wearing concealer and some powder. Then finally the last step is just brow gel. A lot of people don't use brow gel, but I feel like it's necessary to kind of make sure your products don't go anywhere throughout the day. So this is an Urban Decay clear brow gel. This is also going to help with like those unruly brow hairs. It's going to keep them in place and make sure they don't go anywhere. But yeah guys, after this step you're completely done with your brows. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it helped. I hope I was descriptive enough, and if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, leave it down below and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.